Hello Tamers, and welcome to our first exhibition match featuring new cards from Booster 9 X Record. First up, we have a match between two X forms representing Digimon Adventure 02 and Digimon Tamers. On the left, an armor build of Magnamon X versus Gallantmon X. And Magna has the first move. Security setup. Digimon standby. Let's open the digital gates. Hatching and Upamon, which immediately evolves into Armadillomon. Then for 3 cost, Vmon is played directly onto the field. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck and add one 2-colored card with blue from among them to the hand. And it looks like there are some pretty interesting targets. Magna chooses to go for Flamedramon. Turnover, hatching a Gigimon, which of course evolves into Gilmon. Next into Growlmon for 2 cost. Then for another 3 cost, the Tamer, Takato, is played. Turnover, and Armadillomon moves out. And first, I'm so glad to finally be able to do this on camera. Claiming the power of the Digi-Egg of Courage, Vmon will Armor Digivolve into Flamedramon for 2 cost. Possibly my favorite Armour Form. And it immediately goes for security. With Flamedramon's effect, when attacking, this Digimon gains 3k DP for the turn, so it now strikes for 8k. But unfortunately, it encounters a War Growlmon X from security, which also has 8k, which means Flamedramon is now deleted. However, as an Armor Digimon, it has the Armor Release, or also known as Armor Purge in Japanese, keyword effect. When this Digimon would be deleted, you may trash the top card to prevent it from being deleted instead. So what happens now is that Flamedramon can be discarded to help Vmon survive as Suspend. Next, Armadillomon will attack with 2k DP. Check. It's 5k on Growl, so Armadillo is taken out. And then for 3 cost, this time, Vmon will claim the power of the Digi-Egg of Miracles. Armor Digivolving into the Radiance of Miracles, Magnamon. 1 draw. On evolve, unsuspend this Digimon, then for each card with armor in its stage in your trash, this Digimon gains 2k DP until the end of your opponent's next turn. So Magna unsuspends, and since there is a flame draw in trash, it goes from 7 to 9k DP until the next turn comes around. Turn over. Growlmon is moved out into the battle area. Then for 3 cost, the EX-02 Gallantmon is played for a search from the top 4 cards of the deck. 2, 3, and 4. Wow, okay. He adds the basic War Growlmon to his hand. And of course, now for 3 cost, Growlmon will evolve into the newly searched War Growlmon. At this moment, Takato's effect triggers to give War Growlmon Blitz, but because Magnamon's DP is now 9000, it would be prudent not to attack. Turn over. Hatching. Upamon evolves into Vmon. First, for 1 cost, Magna will play the option card, Fire Rocket. Although it is red, while you have a Digimon with armor in its traits, you may use this card without color restrictions. On main, one of your Digimon with 2 or more colors gains security attack +1 for the turn. So now Magnamon goes for security on 2 checks, 7k. First check, 12k on Gallantmon X. But since Magnamon is an armor type, it survives with its Armor Purge, reverting back into Vmon, and the second check does go through, but it is now only at 2k, so encountering a Growlmon from security on the second check, Vmon is taken out. That was a bit unfortunate. If only the order had been twisted around, Magna was really hoping to keep Vmon on the field. Next, the Vmon in the raising area will claim the power of the Digi-Egg of Friendship, Armor Digivolving into Rydramon for 2 cost. Then for 3 cost, another Vmon played directly onto the field. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and search for a Digimon with the free attribute from among them. Well, of course, Magnamon is being added to the hand. Turn over, hatching, Gigimon, which evolves into Gilmon. First, Gilmon will go for security on its 1k DP. Check. 2k on Vmon, it is most expectedly deleted. And now, Takato will make use of the X Antibody option card from his hand. On main, you may place this card as the bottom evolution card of one of your Digimon without X Antibody currently in its evolution source. So it is placed at the bottom of War Growlmon. And now, for 4 cost, looks like I have to shift this stack back a little bit. Mutated by the power of the X Antibody, War Growlmon will now transcend to a new level. Wielding a lance of pure light, he becomes the holiest of knights, Gallantmon X. 1 draw. First, on Digivolve, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP, Vmon is completely obliterated, which then triggers X's second effect. During your turn, once per turn, when your opponent's Digimon is deleted, if this Digimon has Gallantmon or X antibody in its evolution source, trash the top card of your opponent's security. And of course, we know it's there, so here we go. Submarimon is trashed, which also triggers War Growl's Inheritable to give Gallantmon X security attack +1 until the end of the turn. And Growlmon's Inheritable to gain 1 memory once per turn when an opponent's Digimon is deleted. But my friends, Gallantmon X's turn is far from over, because with Takato on the field, it gains Blitz and can now strike Magna X's security for 2 checks on 12k DP. Gilmon's Inheritable, 1 draw. Gil's Inheritable can delete an opposing rookie, but there are no targets. And the X Antibody's own Inheritable can now allow Gallantmon X to evolve into a Digimon with X Antibody in its traits. But of course, there are no targets. Now here we go. 2 checks on 12k, there is literally no Digimon in my armor recipe for Magna X that can stand up to this. First check, Vmon, trashed. Second check, Magna himself at 7k, also trashed. But that also means more armor types in the trash. Also, if you're wondering why Takato wasn't triggered for another memory +1, it was to adjust the memory to pass it over exactly at 1. Because armor decks have this super annoying card called Armor Texture, which can end the game when you least expect it. Turn over! And Rydramon, of course, has no choice but to stand up to the challenge and move out. It goes for security on its 5k DP. Here we go, the final security check for Gallantmon X. And it's going to be a Gilmon with only 1k. It is taken out. Which means the preparations are now complete for this. At 3 cost, Magna plays the option card, the Awakening of Gold Digizoid. Just like Fire Rocket, this card can be played without color restrictions if you have an Armor Digimon. On main, one of your Digimon with armor in its traits may evolve into a Digimon with Magnamon in its name from your hand, ignoring the evolution requirements without paying the cost. The Digimon evolved by this effect can't have its DP reduced by your opponent's effects until the next time your opponent's turn ends. So now, breaking the laws of ordinary Digivolution, the power of miracles will awaken within Rydramon, evolving it into Magnamon. 1 draw. Once again, on evolve it unsuspends and gains 2k DP until the end of the opponent's next turn for each armor type in the trash. There are currently 4, which means during Gallantmon's next turn, this Magnamon is a beast of a 15k blocker. Now of course, Rydra could have gone into Magna X as well. However, take note that while Magnamon is only a level 4, Magna's X in the card is considered a level 6, a Mega. And the last thing Magna needs right now is for that Gilmon in the raising area to warp Digivolve into a second Gallantmon at this moment. So with that, turn over, active, and Gilmon moves out. With Magna at 15k, there is not much Takato can do. But you know what they say in the Digimon card game? When in doubt, draw more cards. Gilmon X evolves into Gilmon X for 0 cost. On evolve, an opposing Digimon with 3k DP or less can be deleted, but there are no targets. Then at 1 cost, Gilmon X will evolve into the blocker Magnamon. And finally, for 2 cost, the coolest boy on the planet, Cool Boy, will be played. I'm so cool. On play, reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck, add 1 Digimon with the X Antibody trait and 1 option card with the X Antibody trait from among them to the hand. There are no targets, and turn over, hatching another Upamon, evolving into Vmon with jamming. At this point, Magna chooses not to attack. Instead, for 3 cost, the time has finally come for him to play another copy of Awakening of Gold Digizoid. This time, at last, Magnamon will be infused with the X Antibody, transforming it into the Draconian Warrior of Miraculous Light, Magnamon X, 1 draw. And with that, turn over. Hatching, a Gigimon evolves into Gilmon X, 1 draw. And now, it is during the opponent's turn that the ferociously powerful Magnamon X shows off its true power. Because, during the opponent's turn, when an opposing Digimon attacks, if this Digimon has X Antibody or a card with Armour Form in its traits and its evolution source, you may change the attack target to this card. So as long as the opponent's Digimon is not strong enough to take down Magna X, it can absorb any amount of attacks. It doesn't even matter if it's suspended or unsuspended. Not only that, even if the opponent's Digimon is strong enough, during all turns, when this Digimon would be deleted, you may place the top card of this Digimon at the top of your security face down to prevent the deletion. In the face of such an impervious wall of armor, the card that Takato drew into with Gallantmon X's evolution is this. At 6 cost, Gallantmon X will consume the X antibody within itself to gain an even greater power. Mode Shift, Code Crimson. Gallantmon X mode changes into Gallantmon Crimson Mode. 1 draw. On Evolve, Final Justice. Delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. The only target is Magnamon X. But of course at this moment, Magnamon X activates its suit of armor. Scattering all of its gold Digizoid for protection, it survives the deletion by sending itself to the security, reverting back to Magnamon. And let's not forget, since Crimson Mode has Gallantmon in its name, Takato can now trigger, giving it Blitz. And Crimson Mode goes for the attack. With Gigimon's inheritable 1 draw, and then with Crimson Mode's on attack, Invincible Sword. Trash 1 card from the top of your opponent's security and increase the number of cards trashed by 1 for every 10 cards in the opponent's trash. Magna X currently has 13 cards in trash, which means his 2 remaining security are now sent to trash, including the Magna X. The last card was a Vmon. With that, Crimson Mode is now attacking while Magna has 0 security. This should end the game. Normally, that is. However, with the present board, after Magna X was destroyed and sent itself to security, it reverted back into Magnamon, which is currently an unsuspended blocker. Magnamon blocks! But of course, with only 7k DP, there is no way it can stand up to Crimson Mode's might. However, it does have Armor Release, allowing it to survive by reverting down into Rydramon. So Magnamon survives and effectively, none of his Digimon were deleted this turn because they were all protected by armor. So Takato cannot proc any of his Gallantmon line effects that trigger when an opposing Digimon is deleted. No memory gain from Growlmon, no memory gain from Takato, no bonuses at all. Turnover. Active, draw, and Vmon with jamming moves out. If only Takato had drawn into Crimson Mode 1 turn earlier when there had only been Magnamon on the field and not Magna X. But that's just the way card games, and I guess life in general, goes. Rydramon goes for the final blow on 5k DP. In order to survive, Takato has no choice but to block with Monochromon. Both have 5k DP, so both are supposedly destroyed, but with Armor Release, Rydramon regresses back into Vmon. And then, for 3 cost, Vmon will once again miraculously Armor Digivolve back into Magnamon. And once again, on Evolve, it will unsuspend and gain plus 2k DP for each armor in trash. Let me just move this Vmon up here so we can count. There are a total of 6 because Magna X is not considered armor, which means Magna now gains 12k DP, raising him to 19k. Which means right now, if he really wanted to, he could take care of Crimson Mode himself. But of course, as a Knight of Honor, he goes straight for the final blow. Gallantmon X has no blockers on the field and no remaining security. It's a direct attack and the match is over. The winner is the armor build of Magnamon X.